Hello, solopreneurs. Welcome to the Digital Marketing and Get Shit Done with Summer, where I share with you tools, strategies, and people to help you elevate your business. I am Summer Selva, and today I have a very exciting and super important topic and a wonderful person. We are talking about copyright. Now you'll say, Summer, what the hell can you talk about copyright? Today I have a guest I'm exploring the topic with. That is the brilliant Barbara Ingrassia.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. And yeah, copyright is not a sexy topic. It's like watching grass grow, watching paint dry, and then copyright.
But I'm pretty sure that you're going to make it as interesting as beautiful flowers in a garden and chocolate cake.
Ooh,
okay.
That sounds good.
that it is. Barbara is the founder of Manage Copyright, and she has been helping authors, course creators, and entrepreneurs in general to protect their content from internet thieves since 2008. That's 16 years now, Barb. She's traveled around the world. She's been teaching people how to minimize legal risks and safeguard their intellectual property. Barbara, I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
Let's jump right in, okay? So a lot of people might wonder, why should I care about copyright? I mean, it sounds like something that doesn't affect every single solopreneur. So what's the deal? What's in it for every solopreneur?
Well, first people think I'm a copywriter, and that's, no. I come in after the writing has gone
That's
on.
a totally different thing, yes.
And we're all consumers of copyrighted material. We might not always think about it, but, we go to the internet or whatever, and we're looking for stuff, and we're looking for information. But we're all also creators of original creative work. And it's not just famous authors, big movie companies, big recording studios. We are also creators.
Yes.
And our content is valuable. We might not think so until a thief comes along and steals it, but it is. And so thinking about copyright as both a consumer and a creator is very, very important to us. And every day we're encountering copyright situations. The copyright law in the U.S. has been in the Constitution since, 1791, something like that.
Yep.
And it perhaps lessens in importance, but now with the digital age, it really has risen to importance. A lot of the cases that we hear about are big music cases, but everybody can be affected by copyright.
Wow. Before I met you, I thought it was really for the $1 million program makers or movie makers or, those who sold a lot of music albums. But this really shed some light on it. Now, I know you've been studying copyright over more than a decade, I think. You've been guiding people through what you call the gray murky zone, the gray murky ooze.
Yes.
Man, I love your terms. But how did you get involved in this, Barb? Like, what made you jump into the world of copyright, of all things on earth?
Well, I spent many years as an academic librarian. And as print started to evolve to electronic, we weren't writing checks for paper copies. We were negotiating licenses to be able to rent content. And so I was negotiating licenses, and that rolled over into copyright compliance education, which I really enjoyed doing and bringing some fun to a heavy topic. And so I would serve as a filter between, the great unwashed and university council. They didn't want little questions like, I don't see a C in a circle, so it must be okay to use, right?
The one on your label.
So if I got up to my chin in gray murky ooze, I'd call on university council. They'd throw me a rope, pull me out of the quicksand, and we would continue. So I see copyright skills as 21st century communication skills. They're also risk management tools. When we know a little bit about copyright, we are less likely to get into trouble and get a letter, from someone who's not my attorney, a letter saying, you have used my client's content without permission, so we want money. And you go, So
Love it.
So knowing something about it. It's also a tool that you can use as you're creating content, and then as you're releasing content, protecting that content going forward.
Love it. I'm sure many of us didn't realize how important this is. We won't realize it until we actually face a problem, right?
Right.
So, Barb, what do you think is the biggest myth or misunderstanding about copyright in today's digital world? There's so much misinformation out there. How do you deal with people when they say, "Oh no, we don't need the copyright," or some misunderstanding that you haven't heard of yet?
In the days of the internet, people think, "Oh, it's floating around out there in cyberspace, just waiting for me to use it." And why would an author put it out there if they didn't want me to use it?
Oh my God!
And it's possible, it's technologically possible to right click and copy paste or screenshot or whatever. So what's the big deal? And it's that idea that copyright is medium neutral. So if it would be copyrighted as print or video or audio, then it's copyrighted on the internet also. So that is one of the biggest things. And also the idea of now we've got there's no copyright notice required.
Oh,
so that's even more confusing. Works published in the U.S. since 1989 do not require a C in a circle statement, and
even on the internet.
So it's automatically copyrighted the minute you pick your pen off the paper or whatever. And so that's confusing too. People think, oh, I don't see a C in a circle, so it must be all right to use. So that combination of thinking it's all floating around out there for free, and then it looks like it's free, that and images are, a big area where many people learn about copyright only through images. And then trademark versus copyright. People aren't sure whether they need copyright or trademark, or are they the same thing? And so I help people understand those differences. So I can help people register their copyright, and I can talk about trademark. But I really believe that's a project for an attorney who's been around the block a few times.
Wow, that is so eye-opening. I used to feel comfortable sharing images that I find on Google, even though Google tells you that these images might be subjected to copyright. And now I know it's a scary thing to do because I haven't landed in problems yet, but I don't want to in the future either. Now that I know you, I'm definitely not going to do that. Now, there's another question that's really on top of mind lately, Barb. We live in an age of AI tools. Like, who doesn't love ChatGPT and all other artificial intelligence and GPTs rising up there every single day? Do you feel like it's really a gift to be taken for granted, or is there a relation with AI-generated content to copyright?
Well, ChatGPT and all the others seem like magic. You get a detailed answer in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
And once that was released to the public for the public to be able to maneuver, it really caught on. And people signed on as members of ChatGPT by the millions in a few days. So there is a copyright relationship. Is it friend or foe? Well, it depends, which is a very good legal phrase. It depends. And are the scrapings that created the database, or whatever you want to call it, were done without asking anybody's permission, without asking a copyright owner's permission, and without compensation. And I don't know about you, but I haven't gotten any checks in the mail. So
neither me.
It's the question of whether that scraping was legal. And there's a multitude of cases in the federal courts on that very issue. Authors, photographers, artists, musicians, photographers, the whole thing. New York Times, all saying, you stole my stuff. The developers would say, oh, well, it's all mixed together in a stew, and then we put it in a blender, and so you'd never be able to identify where something came from. And it's frustrating if you're writing a paper or something, and you need to know what the source is for. And so some of the other platforms now do give you bibliographic information. But initially that was a real problem. So maybe the whole system is illegal. But then the user puts in the prompts and, gets an answer. First of all, the answers might not be accurate. There might be a lot of bias in there.
Or hallucinations.
ChatGPT or whomever will just make up an answer.
Yeah.
Because they feel pressured to have it. And so that's called hallucinating. And the idea that this might be copyrighted work or it's taken from copyrighted work then makes the user, the prompter, liable for infringement. There's also been the move, a little bit away from now, but the idea of you take whatever you get from an AI product and just use it. And it's very important to bring your voice to it. If you are interested in registering the copyright, which is an important way to protect your content, well, the copyright law requires that there be a human
writer.
Copyright is awarded to humans.
Right.
That picture of the macaque monkey who took his own selfie, very cute. But he couldn't claim copyright because he was a human, and the human couldn't claim copyright because he didn't take it.
Correct. Okay.
So
that's so interesting and funny.
Yes, you have to be very careful. How much human interaction is required? Changing a few words, or is the human who's inputting the prompts? Is that enough? Does it have to be 10 prompts or 50 prompts? So it's very important that it not be accepted as delivered. So it is possible to register copyrights with works that have AI-generated content, but you can't copyright that AI-generated content. It's not really different from the rules saying you can't copyright any public domain stuff that you have used, or any pre-published stuff. But it does sort of give you a little different tack and a little different scare. And some, I believe Amazon requires that you reveal that you have used AI in creating content.
So does Meta.
Meta, yes. So there are some pitfalls. There are some steps to take to consider, to not just put in prompts, take what comes.
Right.
So AI could be used effectively as a tool or as an assistant who does some of the background research, and then of course you need to verify it.
Correct.
Maybe they give you some ideas, give you some outlines, things that you wouldn't have thought of, but that's something for you to then consider.
Yeah.
Again, not just copying and pasting, but thoughts that are helpful, much as a research assistant might do.
Wow.
The matter of images and the embedding and the videos and the putting words in someone's mouth,
people's mouths, and
that is frightening, because as the technology gets better and better, it's harder and harder to recognize. Initially, if a picture was of a person and they had 6 fingers, you knew there was something.
You knew it was AI, yeah.
But now AI is becoming even more sophisticated. Now, this is election year in the U.S., and it's particularly scary when people create images or videos or whatever.
False propaganda.
Yes. That weren't real at all. And you sort of spend a lot of time playing whack-a-mole or whatever to be chasing all these things around, and it shouldn't be necessary. There hasn't been much regulation that's been accepted as a consensus. The European Union has been doing a lot. The U.S. has been sort of doing something. Canada is doing some things. So, but there's no consensus.
Wow.
So, and depending on the developers to self-regulate, that's not going to happen.
No.
We need more regulation before it gets totally out of hand.
That is true. We need to look at the legal clauses in every law book that's ever written, or you could be held guilty for some reason or the other. So, and guess what, guys? Barbara has a gift for you guys. It's an AI book. Oh, sorry, it's an ebook on AI compliance. Tell them, Barb, what's in it and why should they get it?
Well, I have a gift for you called Cracking the AI Compliance Code. 8 Strategies for Ethical AI Utilization. Many of the issues we consider are a matter of ethics. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Correct, yes.
And that's what this attacks. So it introduces the background, the why there are court cases, why the AI platforms think that they are okay. Then the whole idea of how can you use what you get from an AI request. And then some, 8 strategies for utilizing AI
ethically. That's an ebook to definitely read. It's a necessary book. And connect with Barb, because I know this is going to be a conversation that we are going to have for a long time. Barbara, this has been so enlightening. And I know our audiences want to go dive deeper into protecting their content after today's talk. Let's hope that many people watch us and listen to it and actually take action into doing what is necessary. And you guys out there still watching us, connect with Barbara. Look in the description to see what intelligent content you have that needs copyrights. I have Barb's bio in there and all the links to connect with Barb after you watch this, okay? So you'll find out all the details, connect with her, get to know her, and ask your questions. If you want to hear more juicy insights from revolutionary people like Barb, hit that button. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get the notification so that you know when a juicy person like Barb would come to stage and talk. So protect your content, empower your business, and as always, get shit done. See you next time.